Okay, part two. Just finished the explanation of how to get those ankles working in the hip, the knee. I didn't mention too much about the ankle, but obviously if I'm sitting in the chair, you'll see that there's a flex at the ankle, the knee, and the hip. So those ankles always have to work together. And so what we want to talk about now is stabilizing the muscles of the leg to protect the knee from going out. Now, it's true that some people have the problem of their knees falling inward. It seems more often that we see the knees going to the outside. So this could be someone else's issue. But for you, Rich, your knees tend to go to the outside and roll to the outside of the foot. And when you get into a position of challenge, it happens a lot. So eventually there can be irritation in the tendon that runs under the kneecap. But also the plan to have a nice frame is going to be completely out of the question as the bottom is wiggling around. So I'm going to use the chair again, like we did today. This is a good thing for you to use in case you use your balance, and to make sure that you're not putting all the weight into the legs if you're doing it incorrectly. So specifically, we were talking about a step in CBMP, like a promenade step. Now on the big top, there's even more of a challenge because the foot, just like on a wing, will have a slight indication of the coming movement to the left. So it's very easy now for the hip to come around and get out of position. That's got to maintain its integrity there. And I want to make sure this knee is aligned properly over the foot. Now, depending what we're doing, if we're doing a strengthening movement, we'll generally try to keep our knee aligned with roughly the second toe for most people. When we're ambulating and moving, we move through the big toe, and that gets those inside muscles activated. So if I go into a challenging position, that's step that's forward and across in promenade position, and CBMP, now this knee can start to wobble to the outside and the legs can come apart. They can also come apart if you pull that hip through. So we want to keep the video that we just did ahead of this, getting that bend between the torso and the hips. Keep that together. And now you're going to feel the inside muscle here working in to keep that knee aligned over the center of the foot and not flopping out over there. So I'm feeling actually the inside muscles of both legs working together. In the case of the big top, we would use that plie to help us into the next action. But every promenade we do, that's going to be a challenge. It's just a figure like that is more difficult, so it'd be more of a challenge. If I was on the ladies' side, I could easily have the same problem. I could push my hip through like that, and now I'm back weighted, caught in the man's arm. I will not be of help to him. My hips are pushed ahead of his, so I'll have to, again, be aware of creasing there. And taking my weight into the foot, keeping the knee moving through the center of the foot. Now it's important the alignment also, important that I feel my weight moving through that foot so that I can move on to the next part of the figure. So lady or man, we both have the same feeling of our legs being tucked in, or the inside muscles working, and the knee not falling to the outside. The other thing that happens here for either partner is just a fall. The legs are open, the hips are just flat. So we're both descending through our standing leg while moving. We're not tucking the hips under. We are letting the thighs move forward. We're keeping the integration of the upper body. We'll definitely have a heel to flat to ball, keeping these muscles working, going through the center of the foot, and you see the trailing leg is not open. That would be on the lady's side of that promenade, and the man's side of that promenade. That leg is not open here. So make sure to look at the first video where we just looked at the angles, practice sitting in the chair, and then trying to find the same position standing, and then here applying the alignment of the knee to help you stabilize the bottom and keep from injuring the knee.